Hi everyone. I am a little frustrated at the moment. I made a big boo-boo on the blanket I'm making. Look what I did. I didn't go all the way to the end of this row and I just missed it. I've had to pull out, I'm not sure, 7 rows maybe of this blanket, and I'm a little frustrated at the moment. But thankfully Bernat blanket pulls out easily. I'm making a blanket for my son who asked for one. He picked out these colors. It's a Bernat blanket ombre in this lovely teal, greens, and blues. It's lovely. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. I am so frustrated in myself. I can't believe I did that. Clearly, I wasn't paying attention. I was talking to my husband and son on the phone. They are off to Rhode Island today to visit family. And I wasn't feeling great this morning, so they left me home and to recover and take it easy today. So that's what I'm doing. It's very hard for me to be alone. I used to really enjoy it and relish the time that I had alone. But for some reason, that's changed in the last few years, and it's made it a lot harder for me to be alone. I don't know what the problem is. I used to love my time alone. Okay, I'm back to where I can keep crocheting. Thankfully, this is an 8mm. What happened to my 10? It's probably under my blanket. So let's go to the end of the row this time. I cannot believe I did that. It must have been folded over or something, and I just didn't see that I wasn't at the end. I'm embarrassed, and I can't believe I'm actually letting people know I've done that. But we all make mistakes, right? So I have a couple things I wanted to talk about today, yarn related. Has anybody seen the new Lion brand yarn? Feels like a dream. They just released it this past Tuesday anyway, and it looks fun and like right up my alley for yarn. I like fuzzy yarns. The fuzzier the better generally. And this one looks super fuzzy, and I think it's 100% nylon, which generally means extra soft. You know, I really like their Feels Like Bliss yarn. And I just cannot get through the stitch. There we go. Now I'm at the end of that row. I cannot believe I had to pull so much out. My dog is completely covered in a nest of yarn. But I will use it up very quickly. I'm about halfway done with this blanket, I think. Hard to say, but I'm at ball 3 out of 4, so clearly a little more than halfway. So anyway, has anybody tried the new Lion brand yarn? Is anybody going to try it? I am planning on ordering it very soon, maybe even today. And I think that it's very exciting. I love trying new yarns, especially new fuzzy ones. I never know if the next one is going to be excellent or if it's going to be terrible or if it's going to be somewhere in between. And I was talking to my husband today, and I said that one of my biggest pleasures is to conquer a yarn, to try a new yarn, and to discover I can work with it, and I'm going to finish a project with it. It's very rewarding to me. I want to know that I have done it. I've been defeated by yarns before, and I've gone back and tried again and found that I could work with them. So I have a lot of faith in myself for being able to work with almost anything. Okay, except Bernat Casa. I'm sure I could work with it, but I won't. I think that is one of the most offensive yarns I've ever seen. Today I saw a posting on Reddit about cursed yarns. And that yarn was named as all of the cursed yarns in one. And if you don't know what Bernat Casa is, it's 4 different yarns in one ball. So there's one that looks like homespun yarn, there's one that's fake fur, there's velvet in there, and something else, I don't know what, but it comes in some beautiful colors. I just can't imagine having a project that works up nicely into. All the different color, all the different types of yarn And where they transition, I can't imagine how that yarn would actually come together. And I've seen some pictures of blankets and stuff with it, and I just find it hard to believe that that's how it works up. I don't know how else to explain it, but I hate that yarn. I saw it at Hirschner's when I was there. They have it in 2 packs, and that's, by the way, the cheapest place you can get it. So if you like Bernat Casa, get it from Hirschner's. They have all the colors, and it's available in 2 packs for like $12. That's like $6 a ball, very reasonable. But I dislike that yarn with a passion. What kind of yarns do you not like? I would love to know what yarn you really hate working with, because I seem to like the yarns that people hate working with, except Bernat Casa. I have a yarn here that I'm actually going to show you in a second when I'm done with this row. Another project that I am working on, and this is actually the 3rd sweater that I have made from this yarn, Pipsqueak Stripes. If you haven't used Bernat Pipsqueak before, it's a very fuzzy yarn, and it's difficult to work with unless you have a bigger hook. I have found working with my 8mm with it has proved to be wonderful. It has excellent results, and it is something I really enjoy working with. Now, I am using Pipsqueak Stripes, which has been sadly discontinued for quite a while. You can still find it sometimes on eBay or on Facebook Marketplace, but it's pretty rare to stumble across. And I happened to stumble across several balls of it, and I bought it and have not been disappointed. I have made several sweaters with it, and I really like it. Now, this sweater is a little different because I combined another yarn that looks like Bernat Pipsqueak with it. It's called Sweetheart Soft Brush, and I'll show you in just a moment what it looks like. I just am almost done with my row here, and I want to finish this row before I set it down. Anybody else feel like that when you're crocheting? You just have to finish the row. I'm almost there. Thankfully, Bernat Blanket works up beautifully and easily and quickly. People don't believe I can make a blanket in a day or 2. And it's just that I'm using blanket yarn and a big hook. I'm using a 10mm with this, if that matters to anybody. I have found that it works up great for Bernat Blanket for me. I love my 10mm with Bernat Blanket. I'm a loose crocheter. I'm a big crocheter. I don't know. Look at, this is the work that I'm doing right now. It's coming out beautifully. I'm very proud of it. All right, so I have to move my phone a little bit to show you my project. Okay, I just got to take it out from underneath my phone. All right. So this is Bernat Pipsqueak. Very fuzzy. This is what a strand of it looks like. Very fuzzy. And this is what I'm making with it. This is what it is. I just got to get its turtleneck folded down so you can see what I'm working with. This is the sweater I'm making. I'm at sleeve holes now. I just have to get some stitch markers and mark off my sleeve holes. And actually, I wanted to talk about that. I don't make sleeve holes counting stitches or a traditional way, I guess. I make I'm going to do it up on my body so you can see what I'm doing. I take my hand and I set it up in here like this, and I put my stitch marker right on the other side of my hand. So I have it up against my work over here, and then this is where I will put my stitch marker. Now, I do that because I know that that is the right size sleeve for me. Now, I did mention Sweetheart Soft Brush by Sheep Cheese. This yarn up on top is it. And it has more of a hand-painted look, because it is. I don't know if I can make it any better for you. I'm trying. I want you to be able to see the colors and how it looks, because it's got some pink flecks in it. It's really beautiful, and it's just as soft as Pipsqueak. It's not quite fuzzy in the same way, but it's close enough that you can't tell. So if I bring this close to you, you can see where Pipsqueak starts with that pink line, And you can see that they're both very fuzzy yarns, but they're a little bit different. But they do feel excellently soft and they work really well together. So I started the turtleneck part of this sweater with the Sheep G's soft brush. And I actually went through some of the sweaters that I have made. I generally put my sweaters away, aside, when I am done making them, if I'm not going to wear them. And I have about 50 that I've made that are just up in bags in the attic at the moment, being stored. And I went through a bag last night to find the other 2 of these that I made. And I made 2 identical sweaters using this Sweetheart Soft Brush yarn. Same color, same everything. They're identical. And I pulled them out and I said, oh my God, I've made 2. So I apparently make a lot more than I think. And I have a lot more in my inventory to sell than I think, because I don't need 2 of those sweaters. I don't even think I need 1, to be quite honest. I really love the yarn, but I don't wear either of them. They've been up in storage. I wear the things that I make that are new and exciting. This one I just finished and I haven't stopped wearing it. If you haven't seen the video about this yarn, you really should. It's called Bunny Fur by Hobby Mia, and I got it on Amazon. They have a bunch of colors, and it is so, so soft, like a bunny. And it's very warm. It actually does great against wind, I noticed. It's 40 degrees here, but it feels like 24 according to my weather app. And I would say that it does feel like 24. It's not super nice out. That's what I will say. It may be 40, but it's not a warm day. There is a breeze. It is overcast. And it's just not a great day, is what I will say. But I'm out here with the doggo, and I've been crocheting on that blanket. And I think I'm going to go back to crocheting on that blanket. But I'm at sleeve holes on this sweater, so I'm tempted to move over to that and at least put the sleeve, the stitch markers in for my sleeves. I do enjoy that. And I'm just a little frustrated that I messed up on this blanket and had to tear out some. But it really is turning out beautifully. I think that the self-striping comes out really nice. And this yarn doesn't have great reviews. And I have to say that I have fallen in love with it. I've used many of the different colors now. The blue, I think, is probably my favorite, or the purple. I really like both of them. I think that they are excellent. I made a blanket with both, and I love both. So I love Bernat Blanket Ombre, and I'm sad that it is discontinued and that it's harder and harder to find. Hirschner's has it, so does Joann's. And you can get it also on Amazon in different packs as well, and it's reasonably priced there. So just keep in mind that even though this yarn is discontinued, you can still find it, and it's amazing if you like self-striping yarns. Now, there's a couple other yarns that I am tempted by, but I haven't ordered yet. And I just want to know if anybody has used them or what you're using them for. I love the Colorama Halo cakes. I've used the Halo cakes quite a good deal. I have several sweaters I've made out of them. But that was when I was using my J hook more. And right now I'm using the 10 and the 8 more. And so a J hook feels extra small to me. So it's hard to adjust back and forth if you're going, from project to project like I do. I have ADHD. It's just part of my life is that I have to change it up all the time to keep my ADHD satisfied. But the self-striping yarns I have found keep my ADHD well satisfied. The color changes seem to keep me occupied and help me focus. So they have a Colorama Halo stripes, and I have not tried that yet. But I am tempted. There's a color that I like that I can see being worked up into something. But I always make sweaters. I always make these turtleneck sweaters, or I make coats. I've done that. I do make hats occasionally, but I have to say I've got quite a collection of sweaters and hats. And as much as I love making the turtleneck sweaters, I have such a collection of these that I really have to be picky about what I am making them out of. It has to be something that I know I'm going to want to wear. And unfortunately, the Colorama stripes in all the variety of colors, none of them really speak to me for making a turtleneck with. I'm not sure how to explain it, but none of them are really calling out my name. So I've skipped buying that, and I've also skipped buying the gigantic cake of Colorama Perfect Phasing, because the big cake is some 1,000 and some yards, and I don't need that much. I need 2 of the smaller cakes to make a sweater, 3 if I'm gonna match the sleeves up perfectly. But I've used it before and I'm kind of done. I don't think I'm gonna go back to that yarn right now. I may in future, but right now I'm kind of over it. And I've got some balls left over, and I don't know what to do with it at the moment. So if you have suggestions for things that you've done with Colorama Halo Perfect Phasing, let me know, because I really like that yarn, and I would like to go and find a use for the stuff that I have in my stash, which I do have enough for a sweater and a little bit more. All in the same color. I really liked this one color, apparently, and I bought a lot of it. So I have that. I have some latte cakes that I have to use, and I'm also over those at the moment. I do like fuzzy yarns, but I didn't find that they worked up into nice sweaters. They seem really thin and not functional to me. They're more decorative sweaters, so I don't see those selling well. I mean, maybe for like $10. I don't know. They don't seem saleable to me. And I don't know if that's just how I feel about them or what, but I've got a bunch of sweaters. I need to sell them. And I can't seem to sell on Etsy. I did try. I had an account and I did sell on Etsy for a while, but I guess that there's an unpaid balance somewhere or something is going on, and they closed my Etsy account. It's still there, but I can't get it reinstated for some reason. It says that I can. There's no, penalties or anything, but I can't seem to figure out how. So I tried putting in new payment information. I tried a bunch of things and nothing has worked. So Etsy is out. So I've heard about Tido app, but I did install that and try it, and it was not quite what I was looking for either. What I really need is people to pay me to crochet for them. I want to make sweaters, and I want people to see what I make and say, ooh, I want that. Ooh, and my leg is so cramped. I have to stop. I have to move very soon. I'm getting very cramped up from sitting this way. Which is rare because I usually sit this way all day. But right now I'm a little cramped. It's early in the day. I should probably take a walk, stretch, do all the healthy stuff that you're supposed to do. Not start my day out sitting here and crocheting. But my son really wants this blanket, and I feel bad that I haven't been crocheting on it much. I mean, really, this is getting big for sure. But I just don't feel like it's long enough. I don't know. I'm not satisfied with working on it right now. My Crojo is missing, for lack of a better way to explain it. I'm stuck on this blanket. I'm making it, I'm working on it, but I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled at all with it. So I don't know if you get that way about projects, but what do you do about it? How do you get yourself back into something? Because for me, all I'm thinking about is how nice this is going to look on his bed, and that he will maybe take it to college with him someday. He's only 10. I have a while to go. But I want him to see this is like an heirloom blanket. He picked out the colors. He really wanted a blanket. So I feel like maybe this will be an heirloom blanket that he gives to his kids someday. I don't know. But I feel inspired that way to make it. But I'm not feeling inspired to actually do it right now. So I do have to sort of force myself. I'm watching Bridgerton again. I've watched it many times. I have it pretty much memorized at this point. I read the books nonstop. I don't know what it is with Bridgerton, but I really love to escape there. I love it. I love the soundtrack. I love the characters. I love the costumes. I love it all. I'm a big period fanatic, so I really love historical films and things with costumes in them. And Bridgerton, though not historically accurate, is still a lot of fun to watch, and the costumes are really fun. So that's what I will say. That is one of my favorites at the moment. I have a new mystery series that I'm reading that I picked up when I was on my road trip. We found this amazing used bookstore where you can trade books to get new books. Like you trade 3 for the price of a new one. And they were having a big sale where you fill up a bag of books for $10. So I filled up a bag of books with this whole series. I'm very excited. This is the series. It's called Dissolution. It's by C.J. Sansom. And it's quite a wonderful series. It takes place in Tudor England. Oh, I'm trying to stretch my leg and it's just not happening. So I'm getting up and out. So anyway, thanks for joining me today. Just a chit chat about yarn and what I'm working on and trying to get myself less frustrated. So bye everybody. Thanks for joining me.